blow the roof off our heads in the meantime.
No way. You're not touching her.
Oh my God.
Okay, I'll let you have that one.
Hey guys, we're back with another episode of The Originals. We're on season 5, season 5. What the fuck? That's The Vampire Diaries. No, The Originals season 1, episode 11. And the title I noticed is called APRES moi. I'm not saying it right, I know. Le DELUGE, whatever. But it reminds me of a song from Regina Spektor. Doesn't she have a song that's called APRES moi? Right? And I know that it means a disaster will follow. So, or something under those terms. So I'm expecting some horrible thing. Ow, fuck. Sorry. My cat is here. And he just like clawed the hell out of my leg. Sorry, I might cut this off or not. I don't know. You don't. She knows.
Go away!
Come on. You gotta
Holy
be starving.
shit.
You haven't eaten since...
Since your best friend killed my best friend?
Davina, I'm sorry about what happened to this kid, Tim.
So we can be one big, happy Frankenstein family?
She's not taking it well.
If you were trying to win the girl's trust, perhaps poisoning her one true love was not the most splendid idea.
Davina. Davina.
What's with all the racket? Bloody hell.
What the hell is going on?
Davina. This is madness. How can a 16-year-old girl shake the entire French Quarter?
I've seen her rock the church, but I've never seen anything like this.
How did you control her when she was in the attic?
I didn't have to. But then I never killed her boyfriend.
There's pictures of Celeste.
Whatever this is, you have to tell me.
Why are you saying it like this? You didn't think anything of it.
I went through your journals and I found out where you buried her, and then I told her. I thought they were just bones, Elisha.
That's why you ask.
If you truly believe that, why didn't you ask me where to find her?
Yeah. Yeah, you went behind his back because you knew it was wrong. Like, you knew they didn't want anything like a good with the bones, right? If not, you would just ask.
Then it dug her ass up so I could consecrate her bones and absorb her power.
Fantastic.
That's not disrespectful.
I know, right?
Yeah, well, I didn't even know who Celeste Dubois was until I...
He's all calm.
Water and consumed by fire.
I know, like...
Now you care about the city.
And we ought to. We built it.
And we all saw it burnt to the ground.
He's always scared.
Twice.
Oh,
I will not
twice?
let that happen again.
Hey, do you have a minute?
Just on my way out.
Oh, shit.
Which one of us is the people person again?
Shut down. Holy shit. That was cold. What's your plan, Marcel? Like, what else is there to do? Like...
Who has?
Bloody Marcel.
And you wanted to run off and start a life with this backstab.
Says the man who was shucking up with him not 2 seconds before all this went down. Okay, we need to divide and conquer if we're gonna stand a chance.
Grab that lot and come with me.
Oh, are you helping?
Consecrate
What?
these bones to the earth. Ancestors, hear me.
Ah, the moments where Klaus
Consecrate
surprises
these
you.
bones to the earth.
Got to find her. I have no clue where she is.
Please. Concentrate. Try again.
Davina, stop doing that.
A
I'm not gonna hurt you.
I don't believe you. You want to kill me just like everyone else.
I'm the one who put a protection spell on you, Dee. That's why Tim's dead and you're not.
You're the one who saved me?
Yeah.
Why didn't
But
you
now the
start
ritual did
there?
the spell
Like,
is
why did you
illegal
wait
the
until
rest
now
of
to
them,
tell
so
her?
I had to take you away.
We still haven't gone through all that you've already provided, Klaus.
Oh.
Well, this newest bit isn't from me.
Oh? Well, that's very kind of you.
Haley.
I assume from the stupefied look on your face they haven't sought refuge in your attic.
Well, those days are gone.
Stupefied look.
Energize your resources. I don't need to remind you how important. Word of advice when dealing with Elijah, don't do as I do. Just apologize. He's accomplished in many things, but he is a master of forgiveness.
Yeah, that is true. Look at him giving her advice. Aww.
It's over.
Oh.
There is someone else, actually. My mother.
But you're supposed to be an elder. Now it's any
It's taken
powerful
1,000
witch?
years, but you've finally gone mad. Our own mother.
Yes, our beloved mother, who Niklaus has affectionately placed in a coffin in his basement. Steps outside of the quarter. Haley now holds the title to the plantation.
When did you
If we
have
bury
time
our
to do
mother
that?
there, and we consecrate those grounds, we can finish the harvest ritual.
You're a bit of a mad genius, Elijah. Count me in.
Just do what you want anyway.
No, our decision must be unanimous.
Well, do you
This
have a
is not
better
a
idea?
democracy.
You're quite right. This is family.
Kill a demon today, face the devil tomorrow. Count me in.
Good idea.
Well, this is no family reunion without our mother. I'll fetch her.
Because, yeah, it sounds crazy, and it's probably not the best idea ever. But unless you have something better or something different to add to the situation, then, like, what? Because I hate when that happens. Like, people come up with plans, and then you go, like, that's a crazy plan. That's not a good plan. Well, is the only plan we have. Do you have something else in mind? Or are we just gonna just, like, say no to whatever we come up with? And, you know what I mean? So, I like it when people say no to a plan when they have a backup one. Like, no, we're gonna do this instead. That's different. But Rebecca came, you know, to their side, so. Because, I'm sorry, Davina, but I don't see another way out of this. Like, your single life is not worth the life of all these people in New Orleans. Sorry. Even if she doesn't come back. Like, there's a whole freaking town in danger here of being destroyed.
And when it's over, I'll do what I should have done and get you out of town.
There's
I
not
had a
waiting this
dream.
out. What?
Tim wasn't dead. And I had someone who fought for me from the moment you met me. Most people don't get that, even if they live to be 100.
That is true.
Marcel, I'm ready.
Just made me cry, this bitch. Does she have to believe? Because I don't think she does. If she doesn't come back to life, it's gonna be super awkward. Oh. Maybe give it a few days. I don't know.
I can see the glowing lights. I can see them.
Don't be mad at them because they have no choice. Sorry, but like, this is not their fault.
This is your fault.
How?
I should have never let you anywhere near her.
Marcel.
The city was fine before you came. We were fine. Davina was safe. She is dead. Do you hear me?
I'm sorry. In the days after I fled this city, I thought you were dead. It was years before I could speak your name so keenly did I feel that loss. I'm sorry.
But you made it 200 years ago.
Twice?
I live in the now. If I feel something, I act. If I want something, I take it. I won't choose the dead over the living, so why are you?
Because you're different people. Why are you so stiff?
This whole thing was doomed from the start.
What about the power? 4 was supposed to rise and none did.
Where'd it go? Good question.
Where did all that power go?
Did you steal the resurrection and give it to other people? Oh, you sneaky bitch. Did she steal Celeste's thing because they said that the thing was empty? And you need like the power of a fucking elder to do this. So she would have stolen the power of an elder to be able to resurrect this other 4 people, right?
A year now. I'd appreciate it if you called me by my real name.
Oh, seriously?
Celeste.
Steal that resurrection for herself at some point. What? Okay. That was cool. I do feel for Marcel because it's horrible, right? Like to lose someone that you love, like a daughter. And I really like that scene between him and Klaus. Klaus telling him that he understands his loss because he went through that when he thought that Marcel was dead. And it sounded very genuine, and I like that they shared that moment. I think it was very powerful. And I understand Marcel being angry at Klaus because, you know, when he came to town, everything started happening. But yeah, correlation doesn't mean causation. Like, just because they came to town doesn't mean that they kind of started this whole thing. Like, yes, some things they did, but what happened to Davina is not one of those things. I feel like the Davina's situation was a result of the harvest not finishing. Like, she has all that power. So regardless of whether Klaus pissed her off by killing Tim, that was going to manifest at some point. Like, she was going to get uber powerful, and it was bound to happen. I feel like, yes, she was under control in some way, but that doesn't mean that that control was going to still be there forever. You know what I mean? So, yeah. It may have happened sooner than it would have if the originals had never come to town, but it was bound to happen anyways. And yeah, it's unfortunate that this happened, but I don't feel like there was any other way. Like, I'm sorry, like I said, Davina's life is not worth an entire town, so no. And yeah, so I really like that episode. And I wonder, so it would have worked if Sabine or Celeste had not stolen the magic. That sucks. It was like, poor Sophie, the things that she had to do. I also want to talk about, like, John Walker's that guy. I think that's your name. I want to give the proper shout out. But they made a comment regarding last episode, and they talked about the hypocrisy of this whole thing with Klaus killing Tim, and how, you know, feeling sorry for Davina, even though Davina has done some questionable things. And yeah, I agree and I disagree. I feel like in one way it's pretty hypocritical to kind of just blame Klaus for the people that Klaus has killed when Marcel has killed people too in his quest for power, right? Because this whole thing started because he wanted to control the witches, and he's been slaving witches. He did that to the wolves, right? He, like, got the wolves out and killed wolves as well, just for being wolves, werewolves. And he's been killing innocent people, and he's been using Davina and taking advantage of Davina to do that. And I feel like in Davina's case is more, I can say it's more justified. That doesn't mean that is right, because she's traumatized, and this is her way of dealing with trauma. She wants the witches to pay, and you know, the whole thing, like power consuming her, and she's assisted Marcel in killing witches. Like, they killed Sophie's sister for no other reason than the fact that she was doing magic. So she's not innocent either. So in that way, I see the hypocrisy of just thinking that Davina and Marcel are probably like victims here, or Davina is kind of like the victim, where has done things for vengeance. So just because you have a justifiable reason to kill people doesn't mean that you have to, or that is right, right? Like, I feel like the whole thing here is that no one has their hands clean. They all have blood in their hands for whatever the reason may be. The thing is that Tim is like completely innocent in the situation. Like, you can say that some of the witches are innocent, but not like the ones that are involved in this did hurt Davina, did things to hurt Davina. So when you talk about supernatural creatures, like they all have been involved in this somehow. But Tim is completely innocent. He really doesn't have any part in this. He never had any blood in his hands. He's just a casualty. And Klaus kind of used him to get to Davina. And I'm not mad at Klaus for doing that, because like I said, I thought it was like a very good tactic, because yeah, Davina's a threat and she needs to be taken out, because you have to look out for yourself, for your family, for your own shit, right? So if you see it from his perspective, it's like, yeah, I don't want to get killed. She kicked our asses right there. So she's a powerful witch. Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow when she gains more power, so I'm going to take her out now. And he used Tim in order to do that, and he's just like a horrible casualty that really had nothing to do with anything other than the fact that Davina cared about him. So in that sense, that's why I feel bad, because Tim had nothing. He just wanted to play his violin. That's it. And yeah, you know, I feel bad for Davina because she lost a friend, but I'm more sad over the fact that, you know, like an innocent kid died. Just because Klaus wanted to prove a point and punish Davina for her betrayal. I mean, he thought that Davina was gonna die too, so it's not like she was going to suffer his loss, right? And yeah, so that's why I was like, yeah, I agree in some ways, and I disagree in other ways. Like, it is kind of hypocritical, but at the same time, just who is getting hurt here, right? Like, Davina and Marcel are in this war, and everybody that's been kind of like a victim of their situation is kind of involved in the war at some point in some way or another. They probably don't have the cleanest of hands, as opposed to like Tim, who's just like was there, right? But I get what you mean, because like I said, everybody has dirt. So I just wanted to mention that, because I thought it was like a very interesting comment, because I think that people are so ready to paint Klaus as just like, oh my god, he's so evil because he killed Davina. Yes, he killed Tim too, but you know, the main thing was Davina, right? But he was doing it for a reason. Like, he was doing it because he needed to protect himself and his family, and you know, Davina was also doing some things to protect herself and who she considered her family. The same with Marcel, right? So it's this whole thing. It's like, so the sad thing is like Tim had to get in the middle of this, and there was like an actual innocent victim here. So yeah, there you go. Anyways, I thought it was a really good episode. The other thing is the Haley thing, and she's like, well, I choose the living over the dead. Well, good for you. Good for you. That doesn't mean that everybody has to do it. That doesn't mean that Elijah has to do it. And it's not that he's choosing the dead over the living, like over you. He made a promise to someone that he loved, and he wanted to keep that promise, and you destroyed that. You went behind his back, and not only did you betray him and kind of like made a mockery of like that promise that he made, but you kind of made it possible for this whole apocalypse thing that's happening right now. Apocalypse is kind of like dramatic, but you know what I mean? Like this whole thing that happened, it's kind of like your fault. You have a hand on it, so don't come crying now. And it's just like, I don't know, I found it really annoying that she's kind of like, not only did she do that, but she's not seeing it as important or giving it the respect that Elijah had for that promise. Just because that person is dead doesn't mean that your promise is to them is less valid. So I don't know, but that's just the way I see it, in my humble opinion. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought about this episode, about Davina, about Marcel's choices, all of their choices actually. And yeah, when did Elijah have time to get that deed done? That's the big mystery of this entire episode. I will see you guys on the next one. Bye. Hey guys, we're back with another episode of the Vampire Diaries, and on the last episode there was a big whoops, and Davina died. And I know that I shouldn't find it funny because it was very emotional. There was an emotional scene between Marcel and Klaus. And it's true that in that moment, Klaus realized that what he feels for Marcel, that familiar bond of father and son, is the kind of the same feeling that Marcel feels towards Davina. You know, daughter and father kind of relationship, kind of deal. The reason that I find it funny in a very because I have a really dark sense of humor, it's because the entire time, right, they were trying to finish the harvest and get Monique to come back to life, and they had promised Davina that it was going to be okay, and at the end, Celeste, who's possessing the body of Sabine, just stole that power and brought back some random witches. And it's just like, whoops. And yeah, it wasn't good. And it was a really embarrassing moment there because yeah, she just didn't come back. And I don't know what's gonna happen. I am not all that sad, because if this show is continuing the trend of the Vampire Diaries, then characters don't stay dead for long. It's very rare for characters to actually stay dead. It depends. So, I don't know. I feel like Davina is a character that has a lot of potential, and it would be very weird if they just kill her like this. So I don't think that she is completely dead. Some characters have just like have nothing else to give, and they die, and they stay dead. It's like, yeah, that makes sense because there's no reason for them to come back. They were not doing anything for the story. Some characters are alive that should have died a long time ago, like Matt. But in this case, Davina died, and I feel like she's gonna come back because I do feel like they could do a lot more with her. But we'll see where that goes. That was her first incarnation, or the second, right? Because the first one was the one that was on the thing.
And me, as your leader.
Oh shit. Just a small thing. I'm just here to take over.
Make yourselves at home.
You know how much I enjoy these
Oh my
illicit
god,
gatherings.
you're here.
Do not be troubled. Despite my brother's reputation, I can assure you we have invited you here to broker in peace. You have my word.
Full moon, is it?
Yes. Of course, a bite from your kind is not lethal to an original. Conflict between us would not end well for you at all.
I'm sorry, I'll go back a little bit. I just have to say how cool it is. You know, the whole like crime thing, to have like a story behind like crime with vampires and like werewolf mafia and shit. That is so cool. Not to say that they're gonna focus on this. I'm just saying that it would really be a really cool like story to have like the Michelsons be like the Godfather, right? Like the Corleones of this whole like universe. And then you just have this like super powerful family just taking over and just controlling all like the other crime families. And I don't know, just combining mafia and vampires and supernatural would be really awesome. But
This all sounds very good.
a whole show of this.
How will it benefit the witches?
I am sorry, this is a private meeting.
But I too am a king, and I have rules.
Self-appointed.
I'm impressed. You're either quite ambitious or quite mad.
Fair tribute for allowing your existence in our city.
Allowing your existence.
For the French court of witches.
I do now. And I expect our future negotiations to go very smoothly.
It looks like a
I await our next gathering.
like a head basket. See? I know a head basket when I see one.
Maybe you know what's going on.
Oh god, Marcel's
ordered us to meet here.
drunk and he does not want to.
It's a new regime.
He's not in the mood.
Get used to it.
Who's supposed to be rotting in the garden for the crime of killing one of our own. And I personally decided to issue him with a pardon.
Should visit Mystic Falls more often.
Oh,
as much as I might like
shit.
to have
Yeah, he
pressing
got some boom boom.
responsibilities here. Now,
Nah. I'm gonna take a personal day.
Nah. He's like, no.
I doubt him. Today I saw Niklaus
He's
demonstrate mercy
mourning.
towards an enemy.
I say someone stole it. I'd like to know whom, and then I'd like to make an ally out of them.
She's so smart.
To what end exactly?
I'm tired.
Smarter than you boys, apparently.
And at least do nothing to provoke him.
I mean, I see both sides. I feel like provoking him never ends well, so she probably shouldn't, you know, don't poke the bear when you know that the bear can bite you back. That's all I'm saying. Just don't. I mean, if you want to wait for the opportunity, then just like wait for it, but don't kind of make it happen by pissing him off, because that's not going to end well for anybody, especially for you. But at the same time, it's very for Elijah to expect Rebecca to just be like, oh yeah, he's changed out of nowhere, and just accept the fact that he's different, because it has been her experience that Klaus is very flippy floppy. Like, he can be happy at one time in one moment because he has everything that he actually wants, or that he thinks he wants in that moment. And then when he gets bored, when something doesn't go his way, he lashes out. And usually he lashes out to the person that's closest to him. And Rebecca has been that person for a while, and she gets the blunt of the bitchiness, right? She gets daggered. And yes, so I mean, he ain't wrong, but Klaus doesn't want to back down, so he's not gonna just take it.
we're gonna find whoever did this.
And this is how the division in the ranks is gonna start, because some people are gonna be like, no.
Someone to mask the law.
Oh, he's gonna drain her. And that would be like an unlimited power, right? Because she can't die.
Who of you will fight to defend our home?
Oh, here we go. What is that? Why does that guy look like the lead singer of Disturbed?
Will stand with me.
Do you think maybe you could come in?
Also, again, correlation doesn't mean causation. Yes, Marcel protected everybody, like the vampires, against the witches because he had Davina, and because Davina could make sure that, you know, witches, like if a witch was making magic, she would tell Marcel, and Marcel would like handle it, and it made everybody scared. Witches were afraid to use magic. Yes. But if Papa Tunde was like, that has nothing to do with whether Klaus or Marcel's in power. If Marcel had been in power then, and Papa Tunde came back, he would be killing vampires regardless of what happened, like regardless of Marcel or Davina even, because I feel like it would have been like an equal balance of power. I don't know who would be more powerful, Davina or Papa Tunde. Maybe Davina would have kicked his ass. But the point is that he would still have killed some vampires. It's not like, do you know what I mean? So it just so happens that Papa Tunde is here when Davina is not, and when Klaus is boss and not Marcel. It does, so it has nothing to do with, you know. Okay.
I do apologize if you feel neglected.
Why?
I have been occupied.
It's not your responsibility to keep her occupied.
Niklas remains agitated.
What
You
the
will
fuck?
recall that even our slightest interactions seem to.
So Klaus is a dick, and you want to be a good big brother, so we can't hang out.
Okay,
Let's sum it
just wait a second, because this is making me dizzy. First of all, I get it. It's not that it's his responsibility. It's just like it's nice to have his company, etc., etc. But what is he talking about? I don't feel like Klaus cares. He cared at that point because Elijah betrayed him, or like he felt betrayed because Elijah thought that his intentions for the baby were one thing when actually he doesn't have any bad intentions for the baby. And he just got upset because he feels like if they got together and they're going to talk shit about him to the baby, and the baby's going to grow up hating him and thinking of Elijah as her dad. But I don't feel like them talking pisses him off. On the contrary, wasn't it Klaus that told Haley, hey, just apologize to Elijah? He's very forgiving, which means that he's okay with them talking, because if he didn't want anything between them or a relationship, then why would he even care to tell Phoebe to tell Haley to talk to Elijah? Wait, did I miss something? Let's go back.
Even our slightest interactions seem to infuriate him.
I don't remember. I don't recall.
So Klaus is a dick, and you want to be a good big brother, so we can't hang out.
You know, for someone who says she can't stand the guy, you sure ask a lot of questions about him.
True, you're very interested in him.
I know what you're doing. It won't end well.
Yeah, just stay out of his way. Like, I would count my blessings that I got out
I'll
of
tell you a story about someone who went up against Klaus.
Without a scratch, really,
This
like
is
that.
right after I returned from World War I.
Who's Papa Tunde? I think he's a charlatan.
Oh, here he comes.
Marcel shall be able to decide that.
Did you invite him?
You invited him here.
Yeah.
Of course.
It's a war tactic.
We're not savages, are we? If there's anything you need.
I'm telling you, Klaus is very, like, Machiavellian. Oh, God, I love it.
All monsters, Cammy. If you're powerful like Klaus is, you just have to bother hiding it.
Davina was powerful.
That is true.
She wasn't a monster.
Yet. True, Davina was really, like, she was good. She wasn't a monster. Yet. Let's not forget that Klaus has been alive for 1,000 years. I don't know what the first 10 years were like the first 100 years. I don't know. I've seen, you know, the moments where he was turned and he got really upset and killed his mom. But, you know, any vampire goes through that moment where his emotions get like super crazy, right? And not only was he a vampire, but he's also a werewolf, so he's like double whammy right there. And I feel like I don't know. Like, I don't know at what point he changed. If it was like, I feel like it was like a progress, like an evolution. Things that happened to him that just made him colder and colder and more controlling and protective. And he just, especially the fact that Michael was after him, he needed to turn himself into something similar to Michael to be able to fight him. So, yes, it's true, but give Davina 1,000 years, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what she's going to live between then and now, and between now and then, I mean. And in her, like, the moments that she had power and she got really angry, she killed 3 witches. She was very okay with a vampire killing Sophie Devereaux's sister, and she did nothing. She was fine with it. And those are kind of signs, right? Like, it's not that she's just completely innocent. No, she has blood in her hands, like I said in the last episode. So who knows if this amount of power was not gonna feed or would, like, you know, you don't know. I'm not saying that she was gonna turn into a monster. I'm just saying that it's possible that she could. And it's not fair to kind of like compare someone that's, for one, a witch, still human, and a vampire hybrid who has been alive for 1,000 years and has gone through some shit. Right? Like, I don't know.
You could snap out of this funk and come and help me end this.
Snap out of this funk. He is more in mourning. Darina is a funk.
Just the witch I was looking to brutalize. Perhaps you can explain the attacks on my men.
Brutalize? What a word.
Faction.
Jesus.
Not the Guerrero werewolves. He even went after the witches who opposed him.
Was suddenly struck down.
Oh my god. Is this another head box thing?
What of that power then?
Oh shit.
That's horrible.
To Klaus, it's just business.
Shit.
And don't you think there's something fundamentally wrong with that?
Climb out from beneath it, will you? So you can die like a man.
Oh shit. Wow, Cammy. You got balls.
I can crush you before the eyes of your son, and then I will consume you both. This time, I'm stronger.
Come on, quickly! Bleed faster! There you go. Ah.
don't want you involved in this.
I mean, it's not
You
your
don't
choice.
control me anymore, remember?
It's a nice sentiment, but it's her choice. Do the wrist. Why are you being so dramatic? Ugh. I mean, I guess this is more sensual, so that's why. So that Klaus can be like,
My father, Michael.
oh no. No, 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 no,
If he
no.
came here,
No.
all we need is a witch who can help us find him.
Are you serious? Are these all the people that Celeste has possessed or whatever? Like that other picture?
You failed. Since then, in my benevolence, I have
In my
wiped the
benevolence.
slate clean. Yet it seems clear you think that I am the one who needs to earn your respect. Each of you has a decision to make. You either fight
Are they gonna all walk away?
alongside me, or you leave. Now.
Oh, they're gonna leave. They're all chatting like, are you staying? Are you staying? Are you leaving? Who can give me a ride? Okay.
I gotta admit, I thought you'd lose a lot more guys than that. So there's still a chance. If we can get that power back, we can save Davina.
Let's concentrate on the immediate problem, shall we? Papa Tunde wants revenge. He'll continue to attack us, channeling power from the vampires he sacrifices. He kills, he grows.
That's a start.
How are you supposed to do that?
He finds the one place with a load of vampires ready to be sacrificed.
Yeah, that too. That too, yeah. He already got there.
This blade now contains all the power I harvested from the vampires. It will do things worse than death, even to an original.
Oh, great. That's unfortunate. I feel like it could have been more interesting for him to stay alive. He was an interesting character, so I would have liked to see how they were going to try and stop him, or I don't know. But it's also cool that he put all his power on a weapon, and apparently this weapon can be used against anybody, even the original, so that's scary too. So we'll see how that ends, and maybe if they harvest that power again, they could bring Davina back, right? That's what Marcel said. That's what he believes now, which makes sense if someone, jacked the power. So if it's used for the original purpose, then it might work. Yeah, back to this like Haley and Elijah thing. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I just do not remember a time other than that specific moment where Klaus was really annoyed that he mentioned being like, or he acted annoyed or angry or upset or was against Elijah and Haley hanging out. Like, I don't remember it. And like I said, he's the one who was like actually surprised when Elijah was like super rude to Haley, and then he told Haley to just talk to him and ask for forgiveness. So that doesn't sound like a person who doesn't want two people to interact. So I don't know where you're getting this from. Sounds to me like it's a bunch of bullshit. It's just drama. It sounds to me that you're just using it as an excuse. To me, like Elijah is probably just using that because he himself doesn't want to get too close to Haley because he's worried that he's going to prioritize Haley and not Klaus. So it sounds to me that he's using this whole Klaus thing as an excuse to not get close, because Klaus doesn't give a shit. Then you have the conversation between Elijah and Rebecca, and first of all, the whole thing with Thierry, and he's like, I'm sick of narcissism and stuff. Like, I don't know what she expected Thierry to do in that situation. Confront Papa Tunde would just get him killed. I feel like the next best thing would have been to go to Elijah and be like, hey, Elijah, you know, I was with your sister and this happened, and right. But then he would be giving himself out because he's plotting against Klaus. But this whole thing with like putting family first over love, and Elijah's like, we all make sacrifices for this family. It's like, it seems like you all make sacrifices for Klaus's happiness, not for the family as a whole. Because it's always like, Elijah sometimes talks about like the family, but really he doesn't do the same things for, he never did the same thing for Finn, definitely not. For Cole, not even Rebecca. He sacrifices a lot for Klaus, and he puts himself in positions of, you know, danger, or where he has to make difficult choices or give up his own happiness for Klaus, not the family. So, I don't know. That seemed very kind of like, and it kind of unfair to be like, we all make sacrifices for this family, so you need to make the same sacrifices too. Which, yeah, I don't know. Is this whole thing of just putting just Klaus on this sort of pedestal and just put him above everything else? I understand why Rebecca would be so annoyed. It's just like, dude, there's other stuff. And at the same time, like I said, I understand why Elijah is just like, okay, if you're not going to support him, just stay out of his way, because you're just going to piss him off, and it's not going to end well for you. And it's just, like, let's just stop. Plus, the little effort, or like the little positive change that he's made, he's going to regress if he feels like he's attacked, or that he feels like he needs to protect himself. So I feel like he's worried that anything might just like make Klaus snap and go back to being the Klaus that he was. Which he's not far off. I feel like it's very possible for that to happen. So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know how to feel about this whole thing. Like, sometimes it just feels like this codependency. It's not it's not all that healthy. And I don't know if it's going to end well for Elijah. Because you can't put all your eggs in one basket. Then, also, what is this thing? I had to do some research because I'm a nerd, okay? But, and I know this is a supernatural show and it doesn't matter, but I'm gonna say it anyways. Like, they used Haley's blood to open this not this portal, but like, to be able to enter, break the barrier, the magical barrier, because her baby is a quarter witch, and this apparently a powerful thing to stop this thing. Great. However, the baby's blood never really mixes with the mom's blood. The only time that it can mix is during birth. It's the other way around. Like, the mom's blood does enter the baby, like at the beginning through the umbilical cord, and then it does like the circulation, but it's not the other way around. Apparently, I mean, according to Google, that's what I read. So it's not like the same thing with I mean, because Tyler got blood from her stomach, so it could be that it could work that way. Not sure. It's still very unlikely. But this is even worse because he got blood from Haley from her wrist. So there's no, like, that would not happen. That's fake. Just wanted to point it out there. Yeah, other than that, it was amazing. I loved this episode. I loved how ballsy Camille is. I like the story that Marcel told about Papa Tunde and how machiavellic Klaus can be, and trying to get Papa Tunde to trust him and then stab him in the back. And apparently it was Rebecca's idea to bring Michael to town. And when Klaus finds out, he's not going to be happy because that was a nightmare. Yeah, let's just bring my brother's torturer back. That's a great idea. It's going to end so well for me. No, I don't feel like that happened, right, from what we saw. So, yeah. And also, this is just me being cynical. And I get that vampires probably feel more when they fall in love. It's like they love more passionately and more intensely or whatever. But it just feels like they make it seem like if they don't have this one person, they're gonna like die or something. Like they cannot live with this one special snowflake when there's like so many. Just like go and find someone else. If it's too much, it's too hard. If you have to go through this extent that you have to find this murderer witch and send him to New Orleans to start killing vampires and humans and start a war and probably harm, I don't know, do all this shit just so you can try and get this girl's forgiveness. That's just too much. That's extra. Like, I don't feel like it's, maybe I'm just very cynical, like I said, when it comes to love stuff. But to me, it just seems it shouldn't be this hard. Like, no. Anyways, let me know what you guys think of this episode. I will see you on the next one. Bye. Hey, you guys, we're watching another episode of The Originals. Last episode, we met a man named Papa Tunde, and he was a bit of an asshole. He came in, did his thing, right? Started killing vampires, and we took a little route to memory lane, and we learned that the first time that Papa Tunde came to town was because of Marcel. Because apparently Rebecca is worth killing a bunch of vampires and witches and whatever. Yeah. And at the end, she said something about Michael, which leads me to believe that it was their idea to bring Michael to town. Because she's like, he's the only one that would make Klaus run. But then Klaus and Rebecca were running together, so I'm going to say that their plan did not work as expected. That Michael either didn't see the difference between Klaus and Rebecca and went for the both of them, or yeah, he just like started to destroy things, because we also know that at some point there was a something that turned, like, that killed Marcel, or right, because I feel like Klaus mentioned a fire or something, right? I don't know if it was like last episode or 2 episodes ago when he said that something about the town burning again, that he was not going to allow it to burn again. So there's that. There's the fact that they ran from New Orleans. The fact that Marcel supposedly died in New Orleans. and Michael came to town because Rebecca and Marcel kind of like thought that that was the best idea. So I'm going to say that all these things are kind of connected. They all have to do with Michael for some reason, and it's going to suck. I don't know if Klaus is going to find out that Rebecca kind of betrayed him. I think that that would be very painful to him. That's like the worst kind of betrayal, really. So we'll see that happening. But Tunde came into town then, and he got his sons murdered, right? They were decapitated, and Klaus presented them nicely in a little box. And he, he wasn't happy about that. A lot of that happened, and then he died. And he infused his powers in a blade. Right, because he was like super uber powerful at some point because he was channeling Rebecca, and then he killed a bunch of vampires. So all his, like the vampires that Marcel had in the jail that he had buried, he killed them all. And he channeled all that power, and he used all that power to infuse this blade to cause pain. And apparently it would cause pain to any vampire or any creature or whatever, including originals. So there's that. Isn't it fantastic? Anyways, let's watch. Oh, Monique. Wait, did she resurrect him because Papa Tunde killed himself?
For their strong connection to witchcraft.
Is she gonna just kill, like...
And if we look close, these fresh bricks tell us someone in the family has recently fallen. What is it?
Now that's a tour.
And so you might want to put your ear a little closer to the ground.
Or I could steer clear of whatever war is brewing between your kind and
ours
before I find myself.
I wanted to congratulate you on getting the church up and running. I can see this is a bad time. Nice to see you, Marcel.
You did that on purpose.
Thank you. God be with you.
Oh, I doubt that, but I do appreciate the thought.
Bastiana.
Oh no, you bitch.
Give your nephew Sean my regards when you see him in hell.
I've been hexed. And I don't know how long I have.
Wait. I know some people. There has to be some sort of...
Oh, now you know some people, and now they're cool.
I need you to promise me one thing. When it gets bad, I need you to be as far away from me as possible.
No.
Their attack on Kieran should be proof enough they're the enemy. In that we're united.
Klaus.
Oh, yeah, that's smart.
Good. If there's a war going on, I want to be on the winning side.
Nice.
Let's see what we can do about saving your uncle, shall we?
I hope they can figure it out. I'm skeptical. Because it would require a witch. I don't see a witch helping them right now.
The vampire is trying to reverse a witch's hex placed on you. And it's the cup you find sacrilegious.
Nah.
You sure this is going to work?
No.
Not remotely.
Yeah.
But I can't attempt to use my compulsion to counter Bastiana's curse if the good father has Vervain in his system thus.
So help me God, Marcel, if you don't call me back with an update, I will kill you myself.
But this is like your blood family. Because it seems like they're all just like the Crescent pack. It doesn't mean that they're blood related.
Help in the first place. The quarter isn't safe. Vampires on one side, witches on the other.
Why is she looking at her
No
like
way
that?
Am I letting Monique get in the middle of that? In order to get her out, I'm gonna need money. Do we have a deal?
Find the witches.
I don't know. Like she has this
I'll
like.
give you anything you could ever need.
cold kind of stare. I don't know.
Most of the buildings were destroyed in the 1700s when the city burned for the first time.
Is that what happened when
Surprising as you might find this, it's not every day that someone asks you to betray your own brother.
Marcel supposedly died? Aha!
Visions of my brother's child precipitated the death of the last elder within your coven.
That's not the first body she used.
Ensuring that the harvest ritual could not be completed unless you were to control it.
After all this time, don't you understand?
Oh no.
I died because of Klaus. And even after all his vindictive lies about witches led to my death, you stood by him, all because of your vow.
Need all three.
I'm giving you whatever I can pick up.
Keep trying.
Or don't. Who needs a locator spell when I have all the leverage I need right here?
No! Money!
You're poison.
But then that leaves Rebecca, your tragic sister. She's about to find herself in quite the predicament.
Oh no, he's gonna have to choose.
You could save her. Then that leaves Haley in jeopardy.
No. No, no.
This poor girl. You'll recover with just enough time to choose one.
Well, Haley
Who will it be?
is with Rebecca, so
I can't wait to find out.
Should you wish to prevent
Klaus.
this, bring me the witch, Bastiana.
The hell do you think you're doing?
Oh my god.
I'm opening negotiations.
You know my rules. We do not hurt kids.
Spare me this.
Why do you think he's gonna follow your
Didn't
rules?
stop you from killing Monique's mother. Stench of
It's
witches
not until your
hangs in
rules
the
are like
air.
it's never
Mark
been.
my words. I will end this girl with the very blade you meant for me.
I'm not saying it again. We do not kill kids.
I mean, respect for Marcel for that, but yeah.
I decide who lives and dies here, Marcellus.
Oh shit! Oh no, that looks painful as hell. Ah! What the fuck? Oh. Is it gonna come out?
What's going on?
It's a trap. I didn't make a deal with any witch.
What?
Haley, you have to find Rebecca. You stay with her until I get there.
Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. Shit!
Elijah, it's a spell. They're trapping us inside.
Dude, witches are sick.
She went off with one of them. Elijah, my friend is still in there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, because Haley's the one that's more vulnerable, right? And it's two people, like it's her and a baby.
For his attempts to prevent the harvest, his suffering will purify him. You do well to heed his lesson, girl. To oppose us is to oppose the natural order.
Oh, God, I hate this
Choice
bitch.
or by
I got guys out looking for him right now.
Dude, please.
Elijah!
Klaus threw one of his classic temper tantrums, snapped my neck, tried to take on a coven of witches by himself.
I just stabbed an original. He's gonna kill me as soon as he's recovered. Look.
She's weird.
I'm sorry for everything. I should have come and got you before that.
And I don't want to go. I should have known better.
Oh no, are you gonna kill her? Stop!
You tried to stop the harvest. Now you want to run when we need to stay and fight.
Please, I'm begging you.
Seriously? Oh my god, she killed her? What a bitch. I sensed something with her because when every time that Sophie was talking, she was looking at her like, ugh, you bitch. I don't know. It was just weird. Didn't you guys notice that? But yeah, it was a good episode. The witches are badass. It's terrifying. And I just want to know where Rebecca is, where Klaus is, what the plan is, how they know Genevieve, what the hell's going on. And yeah, it seems like they have the power to take over. I mean, they showed it. It's amazing. I would be very scared. And yeah, we met Haley, but she keeps saying my family, so I'm assuming like she doesn't mean her blood, just her blood family, but like her pack, right? Because I don't know, does she even have any like blood relatives left? It doesn't appear to do that. Like it doesn't. I don't know. Because Eve has that same birthmark, but I don't know if that's a Lebanese birthmark or is that something that happens within the Crescent pack. I have no idea. It seems like it would be a Lebanese, right? So is she like blood related to Eve? I don't know. But yeah, great episode. I really enjoyed it. I hope you did too. I don't know. I have really like nothing else to say. Only that I loved the scenes with Klaus trying to help Cammy with Father Kieran, because that's bullshit. I hate Bestiana. That is so unnecessary. She's just being like petty over the fact that he tried to stop the harvest, and now you're just, because why? There's no reason. Only like to be vindictive and awful. Ugh. Poor Father Kieran. I don't want him to die. I liked him. So unfortunate. But we'll see what happens on the next one. Bye!